welcome to Acu Quickies. This is a video about acupressure, and I'll be sharing with you one acupressure point that will be beneficial for you if you have been having headaches and you need some kind of release. Now, before we begin, I'd just like you to know that I am not an acupuncturist or a TCM professional. I just happen to know and have some general understanding about these points through trainings that I have done with my own teachers, right? I also do apply some of this knowledge into classes that I teach, specifically into Yin Yoga, where I teach according to the Chinese meridians, and in Acu Yin, which is a combination of acupressure with the Yin Yoga practice. So if you do have questions, about the points, I do encourage you to maybe find and seek out a local professional in your area, in your neighborhood, and go ahead and have that conversation with them. And also, one really important point before we begin: if you are pregnant, do not press onto this point unless you need to, and I will explain why later. So this point is actually located in the hand region, and to show you clearly where the point is, I'll be using an Acu pin. Don't worry if you don't have one. This is really just to show you, really clearly indicates to you where it is located. Okay, so now if you have been having issues, especially headaches, that feels like it is at the front, at the frontal lobes here, you have throbbing pain here, or at the temples. Maybe you have issues in the sinus, okay, the sinus area, or any other part of the face as well, actually, if it's the jaw or even in the teeth, right? This could also be a point that you can get into. So it's quite amazing because this point, although it is located in the hand, but the effect can be felt right up into the face. This is along the large intestine meridian, and the large intestine is actually located right here. So when we talk about the system in Chinese medicine, is really a system, right? It is the whole system as a whole, and it's not a specific organ, although sometimes you do have points that is close by or passes through the organ itself. Okay. So for this one particularly, we're talking about headaches. So if you have issues here, especially into the frontal lobe, you might have seen maybe some of the elderlies, Asian elderlies, maybe they have very subconsciously maybe shown you, or you've noticed them doing this. This point is actually a very common point that a lot of people might already know. It's also just really handy to have information about. This point is called Hegu, and it means Union Valley, and located in the hand. And if you want to know the number, it is 4. Okay, the number is 4. To find the point, we just spread the thumb away from the index finger. Okay, here. And then you're going to use the thumb on the opposite hand, okay, as you bring the thumb onto this webbing, okay, of the hand space on the outer side. You trace the thumb upwards. So you apply a little bit of pressure, you trace the thumb upwards and inwards until the point that you find the bone meets between the thumb and the index finger. Okay, so the point is actually right here. So you might have noticed sometimes, especially the elderly folk, if they have any headache issues here, sometimes you might unconsciously as well already be pressing into this spot. Okay, so you can go ahead and press it a couple of times here, this way, okay, so that you can see clearly, I hope, okay, right? So it's not at the edge, you have to draw it in until you get into that bony place here. So it's not on the bone, but it's just in between, and you can go ahead and apply pressure here this way. Okay, for this spot, it's also really interesting to note that it's also good for boosting your immunity system, because the large intestine works together with the lung meridian to help boost immunity in the body overall. And I mentioned at the beginning that if you are pregnant, do not press into this point, because when you press into this point, it induces labor. Alright, so ladies, if you're pregnant, do not press into this point unless you want to induce labor because it is delayed. Okay, so unless you want to induce it, and if you're carrying, do not come into this spot. Okay, otherwise it is good for general health, for any common kind of pains and aches that you feel, especially in the face area, in the face region, headaches that are occurring in the frontal lobe here. This is a good spot to know. So press it until you feel that maybe you feel release, or you can just press maybe for about 30 times, applying just some moderate pressure, not too hard that you bruise the skin. Okay, so I hope that this has been helpful for you. Thank you so much for your time and for joining me. I hope to see you in the next video as well. Okay, bye.